Well, it's been, again, a couple of weeks since our last episode, and we're back. Petros, I have to say, the power of media, not just social media, but media. And when I say media, I'm talking this podcast.
Yeah.
I have had about 5 guys reach out to me in the last couple of weeks after listening to our last episode about the situation that I brought up with my leg and that. Sure. And thank you. That's all I'm going to say, because these guys have put me onto some different people in a natural way, like a natural, like a naturopath style people, and an ex-listener, a previous guest of our show, Stamati, even heard and is like, mate, try this guy. He's a chiropractor, but he also dabbles in natural medicines and stuff like that. Yeah. And he's helped me and my family a lot. So, I've reached out to quite a number of different people, and I'll tell you what, man, I'm still on antibiotics, but very low dose.
Yep.
And my leg has never felt better. I went to the chemist. I went and bought myself a bandage for my leg. And it's compressed the shit out of it to the point where I'm feeling normal again. Yeah. My moods have really increased the last few weeks, and it's just been good.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you to all the guys who listen, and all the people that do listen to our show, because that's the power of this podcast and the media. We're all helping each other.
100%.
But we've got some really big stuff happening on this episode.
We do. I'm excited. I'm really excited for this one.
We love AI.
Yeah, badly.
We love technology.
Oh, yeah.
And we did speak about it in the last episode on AI taking over the world. I have to be honest with you. I have looked for those AI sex bots, and I can't find them.
Well, it said that they are constructing this thing, so whether it's out now or whether they've got test ones. I think they said that they've got test ones, that they're in testing. So
not that I need it, but I just want to have a laugh. I want to ask this AI thing a question that GTP won't answer for me.
Yeah, of course. Yep.
So I just want to have a laugh.
Yep.
But hey, so we've got a special guest tonight. We'll intro him in a sec.
Yep.
How have you been?
I've been well. As I said last week, I was sick. I don't know, just something going around, but we're back, and that's all that matters. Mental health is good. That's probably the main importance topic, because this is what this show is always about, isn't it? About our mental health. Mental health is good. Life is actually really good at the moment, so I'm not complaining. And like we said earlier, I'm pretty excited because we've got a really big special guest on as well this evening. So it'll be good to dabble back into this world of AI, because AI is just a hot topic. I've been using it for everything. I've been using it for the meatball recipe a couple of weeks ago, for everything. I just type in recipe for meatballs, bang, and it even told me to do them in the air fryer. So it was the first time I used an air fryer.
Meatballs in the air fryer.
Meatballs in the air fryer are unbelievable, and they don't even taste fatty, they don't taste anything. And you know what, I even mixed it up by putting them into a red sauce after, because I made so many, I ended up putting it into a red sauce as a bit of a pre-gym feed. And wow.
Now, can I ask a question in regards to meatballs, right? Do you mix your mince?
Yeah.
So do you do pork and beef?
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, pork and beef, yeah.
So I think mixing the mince is the best way to go. Pork and beef mince, number one.
Yeah.
But I also do like a bit of pork and chicken mince.
Yeah?
Have you tried that?
No. I'm very skeptical to mixed chicken. That's why. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but chicken mince, man. And pork.
Yeah.
It's just something different, man. I mean, the first time I tried something like that, the local Thai place.
Yep.
They do pork and beef, pork and chicken dumplings.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
That's a game changer, actually.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Anyway, should we get started?
Let's do this intro.
Completely stuffed that one up. There we go.
This is Two Blokes in a Pod.
Hey, what is that?
The podcast where, well, it's a bit of this, a bit of that.
I don't understand.
Just blokey laughs and blokey chats.
Okay.
Whatever it is, let's get started.
All right, now, Valandir, let's introduce our guest for this evening. His name is Alex Lykos, and not only is he a good friend of mine, but he also has just produced an Australian. It's going to be a phenomenon about. We'll go with the topic first, which is Disconnect Me, which is technology, AI, everything we talk about. I'm ready to go. So
this is what you were talking to me about in the last episode.
It was. Yes, it was. So,
absolutely.
Alex, welcome to Two Blokes in a Pod.
Thank you very I like it. Very good. Very good.
We can temporarily rename it to Three Blokes in a Pod right now. Unless you identify in any other way, but...
Thank you for having me. Very much appreciated.
Not a problem. The pleasure is ours. And I didn't tell you the title of the podcast yet because I thought I'd make you laugh. Because
you got me. It was very good.
Alex, tell me a little bit about this project and what this movie is about, and where people can, head to actually see this movie as well. So,
okay. So basically, the film is titled "Disconnect Me." And the premise is that I went 30 days without technology, in particular the smartphone. I was reaching a point where I was on my smartphone a lot, especially on social media, and I would find I would waste an hour of my time, and then I'd feel worse after I was scrolling, the mind-numbing scrolling, and I needed some circuit breaker to stop myself from doing that. I'd find myself comparing myself, and I guess what isn't going well about my life. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to do it, I might as well, have some cameras, kind of plot my journey through the 30 days. And the more we got into it, the more interested I got into the role that technology is now playing in our lives, that our children are being raised on technology, and what this might mean for our future. So that's pretty much the essence of what the film is about. Now, when people hear, documentary, they're like, oh my God, I'm going to get bored. No, I'm a filmmaker. I'm here to make a film that entertains people. And I had that at the forefront of my mind when I was making this film. There's a bit of Greek in it, a bit of swearing Greek. So there's quite a few elements in it. And so basically, it's actually having its world premiere this Thursday at the Cinefest Oz Film Festival. It was pre-selected into the Venice International Film Festival and just missed out at the last post. So, could have been flying to Venice this time.
Wow.
But unfortunately not. But we are flying. I'm flying out to WA tomorrow, on Wednesday, sorry. So it'll have its world premiere in WA at the Cinefest Oz Film Festival, and then the Sydney premiere will be at Enmore Theatre. If you've got any Sydney listeners, they'd know Enmore Theatre. Actually, we performed Alex and Eve's stage show many years ago at the Royalty Theatre in Adelaide.
Wow.
Yes, I was there.
And the Royalty Theatre is like a mini Enmore. I think the capacity of the Royalty was around 600 or 700. Beautiful venue, beautiful theatre in Adelaide. And so in Sydney, the premiere will be at Enmore Theatre, and then the general release is going to be on the 12th of October. However, that might get moved to 19th of October because it looks like the referendum is going to be on the 14th of October. Last time we premiered our movie, Me and My Left Brain, it was during the federal election, and we couldn't get any press whatsoever, so we are looking at moving it to the 19th of October, the general release. And in Adelaide, Palace Nova has exclusive rights to screen it in Adelaide.
Wow. Hey, Alex, I did a bit of a background, I guess a bit of a Google search on the theatre in Sydney that we're heading to. And it is it one of the, you can tell me if I'm wrong or right here, but is it one of the oldest theatres? Is that correct? That is unbelievable. I actually spread the word to my godmother wants to come along to it as well, and she said to me, "Wow!" Like she was very, very, very impressed on the phone, and I said to her, What? Tell me a little bit about it. And she said, you look it up and Google it. So that was the first thing that's stuck out straight away. That is one of the oldest theatres in Maverick. Is that Marrickville?
Enmore. Right next to Marrickville, Enmore.
Next door. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Mate.
It's iconic. It's iconic in Sydney.
Everyone in Australia knows what Enmore Theatre is.
Enmore Theatre is, yeah. It's just such a magnificent venue. Look, I'll tell you. I won't bore you, but I will tell you a quick story. Yeah. Going back to Alex and Eve, we performed Alex and Eve at Enmore Theatre, and it was full. Right, the very first time we did it, I remember, it was the most visceral experience I'd ever had in my life because I've gone on, I walk on stage to deliver my line. It was a bit of a funny line, right? And, we were doing it to 400 people every night, right? And we're getting really strong laughs. Anyway, so Enmore's two-tiered, right? And 1,600 people, right? So literally, I've come on stage to deliver my first line. The laughter, because they are on top of you, the laughter was so strong. It was like this massive tidal wave. And I actually got knocked back a little bit. That's how significant the atmosphere was in the venue. I could feel it today as I'm telling you right now. It was quite an extraordinary sensation. So this will be different because obviously it's a movie, and I'm going to be sitting in the back, drinking a glass of champagne. But I'm very much looking forward to it. And it's a venue that the Greek community, many years ago, it used to show a lot of Greek classics. And the Greek community would go there and, would watch these Greek films, imported from Greece. And it was a place where the community could come together. And it's always been that place because, all the Greek singers will go there. And, there's a lot of, obviously Wog's Out of Work, was born there. So it's got such significant tradition and history, as well as being just a magnificent venue.
I haven't actually been inside the Enmore Theatre, but I've driven past many times when I have been in Sydney. And one of my relatives over there said to me that back in the day, we're talking like, early times when the Greeks first started a big community out there, that they would screen old classics like Aliki Vuliuklaki movies and Stathi Psalti movies.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's where we used to go.
Yeah.
I went there as a kid. My parents would take me. We've got such an emotional connection to the venue.
Yeah,
it is part of the Greek DNA.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Hey, so obviously, I want to give our listeners a bit of an idea who you are as well. You are the director of Alex and Eve, which was a very big hit of a Greek lad. Was it a Greek lad?
Greek lad,
married
Greek lad, Muslim girl.
So it was a bit
Oil,
like
water.
It was a WOG version of Romeo and Juliet, wasn't it?
Basically, yes.
Yeah,
a comedic WOG version, yeah.
And I guess the success of that, came off the back of, a lot of the, other WOG films that were going around Australia at the time as well. So you did really well by mixing these different cultures together, or, different faiths as well. And I was part of the... I wasn't part of it, but I went and watched Alex and Eve when it was down here at the Royalty. And I couldn't stop laughing. I thought it was a fantastic, fantastic show.
Thank you. That's very nice to hear.
So,
Thank you very much.
Tell us a bit about the idea of that. Where did that idea come from? And, give us a bit of background about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, this, because it first premiered in 2006. I wrote it 2005. On stage, and basically I was looking to I was a single guy, with my own insecurities and whatnot, and there was, at that period there was a big flurry of stories, films about, women in their 30s, early 30s, late 20s, trying to navigate their personal lives and whatever insecurities that they had and vulnerabilities they had, whether it was, Bridget Jones's Diaries or My Big Fat Greek Wedding or the like. Sex and the City, the TV show. But there wasn't there wasn't anything for me that I was seeing that reflected the male challenges, in relation to dating and the insecurities, if you're not attractive or whatever the case may be. So I wanted to tell a male version of Bridget Jones's Diaries and, examine the vulnerabilities that we have and the doubts that we have when it comes to relationships and finding someone the right person. And I just happened to have met somebody who was, at the time, who was of Lebanese background and Muslim background. And, we caught up a couple of times and it wasn't anything significant or anything like that. And I'd kind of go home and I'd be like, oh, imagine my Greek parents, what would happen if something did happen, how would they react?
Yeah.
If I brought her home, right? And then obviously that idea that was kind of festering in my head about a male version of Bridget Jones's Diaries, coupled with that little kind of hypothetical scenario, I kind of fused those two ideas and, I started writing, and that's how Alex and Eve was born.
Yeah, right. You and I both grew up in the generation where, no, you're going to bring a Greek girl home. You're only going to marry a Greek girl. That was the strict rules of our very lovely European parents.
Yes, very much so.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And tell us.
And what we tried to examine in that particular story is that whilst we've got our differences, most cultures and most families just want the best for their kids.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that need is the same.
Yeah. Well, it's. I guess back in the days it was a bit different because I think parents like ours were afraid of that mixing culture. They just wanted the traditions to stay the way that they brought them to Australia.
Yeah. Frozen values we call them in the show. So they put their values when they jumped on the ships. They put their values in the freezer and never took those values out.
And that's why you'll find that the Greeks who migrated to Australia are a lot more Greek than what the Greeks in Greece are. Because in Greece, they've progressed so much.
Yeah.
Whereas, our community here is still stuck in the ways that they brought over.
That's right. That's why I like teasing my dad, when there's Greek TV on, the Greek uniqueness are dancing and, they've got the tattoos on and whatever, because my dad will be like, I think tataus. Hey, tataus. I'm like, look at all the Greek girls. The tataus.
Oh, don't get me started about the day I got a tattoo and showed my mum. Oh, don't even start. Yeah. Hey, so tell us, in regards to Alex and Eve and all that, I mean, your, I don't know what your work was like before then, but what did you have to work with? Like, obviously it was a big hit, but what was the budgets like? You didn't really have that big Sony BMG type budget.
No.
The
budget, look, for an Australian film, the budget wasn't too bad. It was sitting at around $2.5 million, which is not big by any standard.
Yeah.
But for a domestic comedy, a $2.5 million film is a pretty good size budget.
Yeah, right.
Because there's no special effects or major movie stars or anything like that. So that's a pretty good size budget.
Yeah, right. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So it was a film first, then a stage show?
No, stage shows first.
Stage shows
ran from 2006 through 2016.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
So the stage shows have a sequel, Alex and Eve: The Wedding.
Yeah.
And then have the another sequel, which is Alex and Eve: The Baby.
Oh, wow.
And then Alex and Eve: The Complete Story.
Wow.
No, I'm not doing the divorce. Before you ask.
He definitely beat us.
Well, the next one is either the divorce or Alex and Eve: The Funeral. So
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. Yeah. And then after that, you went on and directed another film.
Yeah, so we've been doing stage shows now for years, right? We've done It's War about warring neighbours. We did a musical called Australia's Game about, a musical about the sports world. We did a drama about the reunion of two best friends, one a professional sportsman, one a professional drug dealer. I've done a one-man show called Jawbone about a guy who's kind of wanting to commit suicide. He's had enough. Did another show about the film industry. So we've done quite a lot of stage shows, and then we did Me and My Left Brain back in 2018, released in 2019, which was a real micro budget romantic comedy. One of the problems that I had with Alex and Eve the movie was it just took so long to raise the money, so long, and it was just so slow. I just got frustrated with the process, and unfortunately, with that much money comes a lot of expectation, a lot of pressure, especially to return the investors their money.
Mm-hmm.
And with Alex and Eve, there was definitely those challenges. So I just tried a different model, and that's doing something on a micro budget so I could turn it around much quicker and have a bit more freedom in terms of some of the experimenting that I could do. And that did really well because that did really well in Northern Europe. Didn't do so well in this country. People didn't quite understand it as much, whereas in Northern Europe they really enjoyed it and it did really well over there. And now, this one here, which is, again, slightly different to anything I've done before. And let's see what happens. Let's see, hopefully the audience really goes on the journey and enjoys it. And hopefully what I'm hoping from this film and to all your listeners out there is this is a really accessible film for you to watch, be entertained. And if you can just walk away asking yourself the question, what's my relationship with my phone? And maybe if you've got kids, you can have an honest, good, sincere discussion about it rather than you're always on your phone, get off your phone. Because technology isn't bad, technology is good. The theme of the film is that technology is there if you can make it serve you rather than control you.
So is it based just on the relationship of a person and their phone or technology in general?
So it starts off, with, me announcing the experiment and the journey that I go on, but then we really open it up we speak to young kids, we speak to teenagers, we've got all these other little stories running through, and we come back to me once in a while, and then we look into AI and the impact of artificial intelligence. So you've got to remember when we started shooting this film, this was about 15 months ago when we started shooting the movie, and people weren't talking about AI. People weren't talking about chat GPT. People weren't talking about lethal autonomous weapons and the dangers of AI, right? Now people are, and they're not really talking about lethal autonomous weapons, which is what we talk about. And it's scary what's going to happen with AI and what impact it will have on, it's basically an arms race. The superpowers are sprinting to see who's got the best AI technology for war. Because war won't be fought with humans; it'll be fought with robots. That's if not happening already. But not only that, the other question we investigate and ask is, where are we headed on a personal level with our technology? People a lot of the time now talk about, and if I may quote one of the hosts who said in one of his responses, he doesn't go more than 20 minutes without his phone because, his showers don't last that long. Right? Now, that's not just Petros, that's everyone, right? So there's going to come a point where, the phone's going to be either attached to our limbs. It already is. And we speak to a cyborg who actually identifies himself as a cyborg. In other words, he's human and part machine. He has an antenna stuck to his brain. It's not like something you can take off. It is part of his body. It's a limb. And this idea of the fusing of machinery with which we already do with a cochlear implant or, a pacer, or a prosthetic limb. And they're serving us to help people live a better life. But there's going to come a point where, we're going to be using artificial intelligence to perhaps, Neuralink with Elon Musk. He's creating a brain chip to kind of turbo boost the capacity of our brains. It's coming.
I have to tell you, I heard that Joe Rogan episode where he interviewed Elon Musk, and he was talking about the brain chip, and I thought to myself, "Holy shit! That will be the day when there's a chip implanted in someone's brain that can activate the other side of your brain, and it will pretty much make you like a superhuman."
Yeah.
You know, because we all know that, you know, we don't function with our whole brain.
No, that's right. We use 17% of it or something. But what about if then, I guess the philosophical question becomes, what if, you know, like a computer's got, you know, a processor, you know, and if you're rich, you can buy a computer with a bigger processor, right? So then does that mean the rich are able to then get a brain chip that will allow their brains to operate at a much more advanced level to everybody else? And then what does that mean for society? So there's all these existential questions that the AI raises, and we don't go into all of them. We can't. We're making an 85-minute movie. All we're trying to do is kind of cover these areas in a light, entertaining way, and then hopefully after the film, people can then hopefully they have a good night for its own sake, and then maybe have a discussion about it and learn more about, you know, where we might be headed, and perhaps start consider things like regulation of AI, you know, ethical use of AI.
Yeah, it's definitely a scary topic. I mean, I was sitting here at our last episode with Petros, and he was talking, and while he was talking, I just quickly typed in a couple of different words in chat GTP, and within a split second, it spat out a whole song to me about Petros falling in love with a rubber chicken. You know, so you know, it's an amazing technology, but you're right. At the moment, it's scary because it's not regulated. And even when it does become regulated, what does that mean?
That's right. So one of the parallels we use is, you know, like nuclear weapons. You know, we didn't regulate. Humanity has a bizarre way of taking action after the fact. So we didn't regulate nuclear weapons until after that we saw the damage they caused, not beforehand.
But that's the way with everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
They won't regulate it until they actually feel the full force of its power.
That's right. So it won't be until there's some serious existential threat will we then say, hold on a second, what are we doing here? You know, I mean, I can tell you now with lethal autonomous weapons, you know, the country's voted, and most countries voted against it, regulating lethal autonomous weapons. I mean, you can literally have someone in a room in a remote with a remote control and you know, earmark and go and assassinate whoever they want. You know, with a drone. I mean, they can program it and do. You know, imagine 100,000 drones doing it. I mean, it really is scary stuff.
Scary times ahead, isn't it? That's
yeah. I mean, you know, we you know, sometimes, you know, we just got to be aware of what do we want? What does humanity want moving forward? You know, and that's all I want from this film. I just want that discussion to happen. I want you to have a good time, but also just have that discussion when you walk out of the cinema with your friends.
Can I ask you a question? I guess because you don't really know the background of our podcast, but Petros and I started this podcast on pretty much all blokes topics, and specifically focusing on mental health and how, you know, there's not really that many health services available for men as there is opposed to women. So my question to you is, what was your mental health like during that period where you were disconnected?
Oh, my mental. So one of the weaknesses of the film was that my mental health was great.
Oh, right.
I had 3 days. I had 2 or 3 days where it was tough. The first 2 days I had withdrawals, right? But after the third day, I was like, man, this is great. This is fantastic. Like, you realise how inane it is to just scroll through a newsfeed.
You were not looking at emails or any social networks on any other devices?
I was going to because what I used to do before I had a smartphone or before I had a computer, I used to go to the library to check my emails. So I had a library nearby and I'd go to the library, check all my emails.
Okay.
Done. No problems. All sorted. I didn't miss out anything. Right?
Okay.
The challenge wasn't social media. After 2 or 3 days, it became a non-issue. The challenge was we have all gotten used to being able to be reachable quite easily. My dad can reach me very easily, my wife, etc. Suddenly they couldn't. And that became frustrating.
But
to you or them?
To them.
Not to me, to them.
So was that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, that was a challenge because I suddenly, you take it for granted, like, hey, hey, are you on your way home from work? Yeah. Can you stop by and get some milk from Woolies? Yeah, sure, no problem, it's done. Well, if you don't have a phone, you can't do that, right? You go right home. Oh, we're out of milk. Oh, okay, let me jump back in the car. Let me go get some milk, I'm just using a basic example, right? Even simply just to kind of check in with your partner or whatever, or your kids or whatever. Hey, how you going? All okay? What's happening? I had a shitty day or whatever. Those things. My friends didn't get in touch with me. Some knew, some didn't know. So I felt, a lot of times I go for walks. And whilst I'm going for a walk, I put the headphones in and I catch up with my friends on the phone. Right? I didn't do that. So suddenly I felt a bit more disconnected from my social circle.
So people thought you went off grid?
Off grid, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, some didn't know, but those who, some would, left messages on the phone that didn't know. But I told those who are in my inner circle, hey, look, I'm going to be off grid. If you want to reach me, here's a number. And, just like you would have a landline number, how we used to do it in the old days. But I felt my mental health. You're speaking about mental health. For me, my mental health, I felt when I had access to social media, I'd find myself comparing, and all that would do would make me feel worse about who I am.
Can I ask you a question, Alex, now that you said that? Now, you were from a generation that had both, no social media and social media. Yeah. So it was almost like going back in a bit of a time warp and going back and not having it. Now, for somebody of my of my generation, which is not far apart from yours, but I was born into the access of having that computer there, the phone there, whatever it was. Yeah. For me, like I said to you through that interview on George Street, I remember you asking me about the mobile phone. And even to this day, it still puzzles me because I couldn't live without it. But for somebody of your generation who lived without it, did it just feel like you were just going back in time, basically?
I wouldn't say back in time. I would say just a bit more freer. Freer. See, what I do, I'm a theatre maker, a filmmaker, right? I write. That's my job. My job is to try to write stories. I need to observe the world. And then I also need to spend time thinking about the world I am creating, the characters I am creating. I need to spend time in my own consciousness, right, to allow the characters to roam in my head. I can't be doing that. And when you do it, you do that when you're waiting for a coffee. You do that when you're in the shower. You do that when you're, waiting to get your tires changed. You do that when you're going for a walk. You do that when you're going for a run. Or when you're driving. However, when you've got your phone with you, I play touch footy every Saturday afternoon, right? So what do? I catch up with friends. I call people on the way there. Yeah. But if I don't have a phone, I'm not calling people because I can't call people. So what am I doing? I just naturally drop into the world of my characters of the story that I'm working on. Ideas then flow. The subconscious starts working. But if I'm mind-numbingly scrolling, I'm not doing that. Right? Because my mind is, what's so-and-so doing? Oh, wow, they get another career, promotion. Oh, wow, are they in Hawaii? Oh, wow, I wish I was in Hawaii. I'm not in the world of my characters. So it didn't work for me.
Alex, you need to add me on Snapchat because I seem to do my best work in the shower, videoing myself. I did tell you that I do not like to leave it. I love having my mobile phone. Like, it's just something that I couldn't live without. And with the infinity scroll now on Facebook and Instagram, I think Instagram's got it as well, is the best thing since I can remember, because it just gives you more ideas. You just have, so I don't know. I don't know how you did it.
It works well for you. Yeah. It works well for you. Yeah. And that's the thing I want to be clear on. You know, the theme of my film is not technology is bad, social media is bad, etc. And that is not the theme. So what I've done as a result of doing the experiment is I still use, especially now I'm using social media again. It's a good point you raised, because now, let me track back a moment. What I've done since I did the experiment is I wiped all social media off my phone. I have it on my computer. So when I'm at home, especially late at night, I'll allow myself, some time to jump on the social media and see what's happening. Now that we're kind of promoting the film, and we're a small outfit, we can't afford big advertising campaigns. I'm on social media a lot. I have been a lot the last month, and I'm trying to refrain myself from, scrolling through feeds, etc. But I am finding myself slowly dropping into that pattern again. But it's not on my phone; it's just on my computer. So when I'm travelling to WA on Wednesday, because I have to keep the socials available to promote, I'll take my computer with me. I'm not going to put the apps on my phone. I don't want to fall into that trap for me. So to surmise, yes, there's no doubt technology is great. Social media is great. You can reach out people all over the world. It's all great as long as you're using it to serve you, not control you, is basically what I'm trying to articulate.
I guess, and that's another point there, that the social media companies like Meta and all the other big honchos out there, the way that they've created their apps is, in such a way that you just can't not have it. I get where you're coming from with the whole, just on your computer, but for me, for example, at the moment, my mum and my sister, they've gone to Greece. And the cheapest way for them to communicate with me is through Facebook Messenger. They'll call me off that because it's pretty much free over the internet.
Yeah.
And, I've got it obviously connected to my phone. But the other thing is, I have a mobile phone. People know my number. People can text me or call me. But what do they prefer to do? Send me a message on Messenger, Facebook Messenger. Because it's just there, it's accessible to them, and so we'll just send a message rather than, hey, hang on a second, I'm at work 9 to 5, I'm not going to be checking my Facebook. Send me a text message if you urgently need me.
Does that show you guys as well that maybe because you're sitting on Facebook all day, instead of, and this is probably the laziness of the generation as well, by the time you get out of that app, find your name on a message, it's a waste of time. You could just hit the messenger button, you're there. Could it be that? Is that why they're using it like that? Or is it...
The scary part, the scary part is these people that are sending me messages are of an older generation than I am. Right? I'm
because you're going to get... the message is going to get there, I think. And also, you're on it yourself, so it's just easier to just kind of, I'm on it. Bang, bang, bang. I have to search for a name or whatever. Just
I look back a few years when I was at school, and Petros's father was my my IT teacher at the time, and that's where I first got my first email. Back in when I was 13, 14 years old. That was my first experience of internet, and I'm like, internet email. That's wow. Yeah. This is amazing. I can send a letter to my friend in Greece. And, within a few hours, they'll send me back an email as well. And I thought, wow. And then in 2001 or whenever it was, I went overseas and I did a Kentucky tour, and I was on Kentucky with a couple of, or a fair few American people. And this is around the time where Facebook wasn't really big, but it was starting to, become something. And they're like, get on Facebook so we can keep in touch after the tour. I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty cool. So, created an account and I kept in touch with all these people that I met on Kentucky. Facebook.
That's its beauty.
Yeah, and then Facebook then evolved into this monster, this beast.
Yeah.
And at the time I was growing my DJ business. I'm like, oh, this is great for promotion. I can use it. I've got 5,000 people on my Facebook. I have no idea who 4,900 of them are. The rest are my friends. But, I just created this world where I'm like, oh, promote, and events, promote. But then, that promotion then slowly became an addiction. And, I found myself scrolling through Facebook and doing all these other things like TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat and all these things. They just rope you in.
Yeah. That's their job. That's their job, right? I mean, they get paid. They've got engineers that get paid millions and millions of dollars to, use whatever color schemes, sound, playing on your emotion, on our emotions, to rope us in, to keep us in. Because the longer we're on there, the more money they're making from advertisers.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the formula. That's the formula. Unfortunately, this didn't make it movie, but, one exec had said, our greatest competitor is sleep.
Very
They're basically saying, how do we beat sleep? How can we make them sleep less? Because if they sleep less, they're going to be on our app more, which means more money for us. That's their, and that's why I keep saying they're great apps. They're phenomenal apps.
Oh,
as long as
you know what, and they're really good apps for anxiety too. Do you know how many times I've woken up on a Saturday morning and I get these warnings from Facebook? We've temporarily suspended your account for posting something, of an illegal nature, and I'm like, what have I posted? And then it's you're banned for 48 hours, and you're stuck going, holy shit, what's happening in these 48 hours? What am I missing out on? So the anxiety starts really lifting in you. It's like, oh my God, you start hyperventilating, going, oh, what's going on? I'm missing this event. I've got, oh my God, this is it, the be all and end all. It's
the thing is,
it's 48 hours. Come on, get a grip of yourself.
But the third day though, for me, it was like, I just forgot about it completely. It took me about 3 days from memory to not have to worry and dwell on what's going on there. Because I started engaging a bit more in the real world. But I get it. I get that. You get that hit of when someone likes a post or whatever. I get that. It's a nice little validation. But that's all it is. It's just a superfluous validation.
I just want to say, now that you said that as well, Valandi, like when I post a photo, I will not sleep unless I know my phone is going bunters with a like on a photo. And the anxiety brings me, why did this post underachieve? I can never work it out, why I feel like this. Like, I don't even know. And we know that these are what these apps are in, that's their motive, isn't it? To keep you questioning and keep you posting, keep you this, keep you that.
That's right.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, if I could go back in time and not even have to worry about this or make an account, I would have never made an account. Because I agree. Yeah, and regardless, like Valandi and I are both in the entertainment business, and like we can't live without it, I guess. Like, people will tag you in posts and you get excited and you share them to your story and you feel almost godlike, and to go without it and not to have an account, people will actually turn around and say, well, what can I tag you in now? And it's like, I'm not sure. Like, I wouldn't even know how to respond to it, let alone.
Yeah, I've disciplined myself at nights on the laptop. You often hear me, when people message me, I'll say, look, I'll get to it, but I'm going to be offline for about 8 hours. But when I get back to the computer, I'll respond to your message or something.
I think you sent me one of those messages once, Alex, and I was like, what's going on here?
I know.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's like, you know what? I'll address it when I'm at home and it's in my little allocated time. And I've gotten good at it over the last, year or so. And It's really helped me, mentally. It's helped me so much mentally. So much. I can't tell you how much it has helped me. And I maybe could have articulated that more. But see, when we did the movie, I just started doing it.
Yeah.
So it's not like I knew. But now, a year later, right, I've been doing it. It really is. I'm good at it now. I'm good at it. And even now that I'm traveling, interstate, when it's just so much easier to say, well, I'm taking photos, whatever, just put the apps on your phone. No, I'm not going to do it. I've kept it off, kept my phone app free for this long. I'm not going to do it. Take my computer with me. When I get home at the hotel, I'll deal with it then.
Can I ask you the question of questions? Because I asked Valandi this question. I ask almost every single person this question. Is the one that you asked me. And on a serious, I want to hear it from you. How much would I have to pay you to not have your mobile phone on you for a year?
Oh, you wouldn't have to pay me much.
Really?
No, you wouldn't have to pay me much.
Yeah.
If I'm allowed to have, well, essentially, my mobile phone acts now as a phone, right? I'll tell you what, it's got great things for. It's got a torch. I use a torch a lot, right? I use Google Maps, right? What other services does it have for me? Other than being able to call people and to send text messages, the torch is great. The Google Maps is great.
Calculator,
yeah. I don't use it that much on the go, so I can use a computer one. When I need a calculator. I don't use it that much on the go. I'm just trying to think what else I use it for. Looking at my phone.
No banking apps?
No, I don't do any banking on the phone.
Yep.
And there's a funny little moment in the film where, how when I had to pay, got to pay the crew, right, each week, and of course I got the phone locked in a safe, right? So, and I forgot to do the security. The security code comes onto your mobile phone. I couldn't pay him. Right, so.
What about, hey, have you got Spotify on it? Because how are you going to listen to Two Blokes in a Pod?
Nah, I don't have Spotify.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I don't have it.
What about Apple Pods?
Nothing. I don't have it. I have nothing. No.
Wow.
As I said to you, I need, for me, personal to me, is I need that time. And I hope I know I'm repeating myself here. I need to be in my own headspace to think about the questions, the deep, meaningful questions about life and my characters and the world and what might happen and what if this happened and that. I need that clear air to do that. I need it. And I've got to kind of try to limit those distractions in order for me to do it.
Wow.
Yeah. Unbelievable. I love talking about this. I love talking about technology so much, and to hear the positives of not using it it is appealing, but I don't think I could do it. And that's just me. I think. Valandi, how about yourself?
I just want to try a month. I want to try a month. All right, how about I try a week without my phone?
You.
No. If I may interject, keep your phone. Just take the apps off it, and at night address your apps on the computer.
Is he allowed to have AI, ChatGTP or something like that?
Well, that's not really an app. That's part of the web browser.
Yeah. I guess if he wants, but it's more the apps, right? The Instagram, the Facebook, the TikToks, and whatnot. You just try going a few days without it on your phone. It's like eating chocolate. You know what I mean? Like, and then you get home and you're like, oh, eat all the chocolate you want, and do it for an hour. Knock it out of your system, and then go the next day. See if that resonates with you, because at least you know that way you're not ridding yourself of the app and therefore getting all the anxiety. You just know that you're gonna. And you know what? Can I tell you one of the positives about that is when you do get home and suddenly you've got these messages and whatnot. Well, you've got something to do. It's like, oh, wow, I've got 6 messages. Oh, cool. Who's that? Oh, who's that? I'll get back to them. there's almost a bit of an excitement because you're going to have, some notifications.
Yeah.
As opposed to looking at them throughout the day when you're kind of getting one notification that you're addressing once in a while, throughout the day. So give it a go.
It's just, with technology today, I'm too connected. That's the problem that I have. I'm too connected. Like, I've got my mobile phone, which is connected to my Apple Watch. And then, everything in the Apple ecosystem is connected to my MacBook. And it's just so, it doesn't matter where I turn, one notification turns into 50 notifications because every single device around me pops up with a notification. I'm waiting for the time where, my toilet's going to start giving me notifications. It's just, everything is bloody technology is just taking over. But, you're right. I think I'm going to do that when, maybe not just yet because it's the way that I communicate with my mum while she's overseas. And I do worry for my mum and my sister because they are very brainless people. But when they get back from Greece, I think the first thing I'm going to do is do that. I'm going to disconnect my phone from any social media apps and just have it there.
Or even maybe just try one of them. Like just say, I'll start with TikTok or Facebook. Just delete that one.
TikTok would be the hardest thing for Valandi.
I've only just hit that 1,000-person mark and I can do live, so that's going to be hard. No. You're right. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to go cold turkey and remove all communication, social media apps other than mobile phone and text messages. Full stop.
Yeah.
And I won't respond to text messages until a certain time each day.
Just do it after 5 p.m. or something.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how I use my phone, and it's good. It's good. But again, everyone, things, everyone's different, and everyone's got different lifestyles and different needs in their lives and whatnot. This seems to be working for me at this time in my life. It might change, but at this time in my life, I've now been doing it for a year, where it seems to be working for me. It may not work for everyone. I can only tell you what my experience is.
Well, it definitely sounds very intriguing. So give us another rundown on how people can get onto this and how they can watch your movie.
Great. So basically, world premiere is going to be in WA this week. Then the Sydney premiere, Sunday 17th, which I understand Petros is coming to at Enmore Theatre. And it was going to be the 12th of October. It may still be the 12th of October general release in limited cinemas, Palace Nova in Adelaide. It may get moved back to 19th of October if the referendum is confirmed on the 14th of October.
So the Adelaide date will be the same as the Sydney date?
Yeah, yes.
Great.
Sydney and Queensland and Victoria are all general release once we have our Sydney premiere the 17th of September. The general release will be in October. Whether it's the 12th or the 19th, I'll confirm on Wednesday once we hear when the referendum is going to happen.
Well, we've got a date night then, Valandi.
In Adelaide, Palace Nova. And Palace Nova has been kind enough to program the film into their education program. So a lot of school kids are going to watch it as well, which is great.
Oh, fantastic.
It did get a PG rating, didn't it?
Yes, PG rating.
Yeah.
Yes, it was all contingent on the getting programmed into their educational program was all contingent on the PG rating. Hoyts have done it as well, so it's going to be in the Hoyts education program as well. It was all contingent on the PG rating, which we got, thankfully.
So the Greek swearing is still PG?
Yes, because we do the translation.
Okay. All right.
I took some of it out. I had to pare some of it back. It was that full on. It became unbelievable. Right? So, yeah.
Very good. All right. Excellent. Palace Nova. That's the place we're going to be.
We will be, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. I much appreciate your time.
I reckon we'll have to take out the mobile microphones and the roving mics and have a chat to a few people after the movie.
Let's do it.
What do you reckon?
And that's the other good thing. By the way, real quickly, that's the other one good thing I forgot to mention about the phone is the camera. The camera's amazing. You know, you can take photos and videos anywhere you want, wherever you want, and capture great memories.
Now, Alex, before we let you go, now that you mentioned mobile phone again, debate. Are you an Apple or a Samsung user?
It's in the movie. So I actually say in the movie that I used to be an Apple person, but I got sick of the battery losing charge so quickly. I switched.
Ooh, to the dark side.
He's gone to the dark side.
I just got sick of the batteries, bloody. It got to the point where I had to charge my bloody phone twice a day, 3 times a day. You know, I got frustrated. I said, bugger this. And I went.
Well, I don't know. The latest iPhone seems to last a bit longer. So, you know, they're getting better. They're getting better.
This was a few years ago.
I do think, though, Alex, if you just lock it in the safe for 8 hours a day, you might actually find that you got some charge. So.
Excellent. Alex, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, guys.
We really look forward to getting onto Disconnect Me, your next venture, and we look forward to all your future ventures too, whatever they may be. But right now, we're going to focus on Disconnect Me.
Thank you very much for your time. Really enjoyed it and appreciate you guys giving me your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex, and look forward to catching up with you on the 17th of September.
17th. Sounds good. Yes, boys.
See you later. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, Petros, that was pretty spicy.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Me too. He's as we were saying, he's just he's a very, very down to earth bloke, Alex Lykos, and very knowledgeable about many topics. So
that was phenomenal. I'm really looking forward to watching that. I'm not so much of a fan of like docu movies. Like the last one I watched and I thought was okay, but a big load of bullshit at the same time was Super Size Me. The one that they did about eating McDonald's for 30 days.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, I mean, it's not something that I would do. I would never go 30 days of just eating McDonald's. That's just fucked. But, 1 month disconnected from the mobile phone for 1 month.
Yeah, I'm sure that 99.9% of the population would probably end up in a mental institution after it, because they'll just be, where's my phone sort of thing. So, but as he said, after 3 days, there was no drama with it. So, I mean, yeah.
P.S.
Yeah.
You are the biggest bullshit artist
Why?
I've ever met.
Why?
You go to the shower with your mobile phone.
Yeah. How do you get my videos?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He's saying that, you know.
Yeah. He asked me that the longest time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but after that, I thought, nah. Well, look, I might have told a bit of a lie in that.
Mate, I've seen everything in your shower apart from your private parts, right? Not that I want to see your private parts, but what I'm trying to get to is, I've seen your Snapchats taking a shit. I've seen your Snapchats in the shower singing. Fuck knows what you've been singing, but they've been, just very odd songs.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're stuck to your phone.
I am. I said to him in the movie though that, like when I was being interviewed, he said, what's the longest time you'd go? And you know what? To be fair, I mean, you can't really shampoo your. Well, I've done it. I've got a TikTok of it, but you can't really shampoo your hair while on the phone because you need both hands. I think. Well, I do because I've got a lot of hair, and I'll try and get through that. That layer of concrete of the VO5. But I definitely. That is probably the longest and only time that I'll be without my phone. I mean,
well, there are some content creators on OnlyFans that do use their mobile phones. And, I mean, the iPhones have a IP rating these days, so they are waterproof.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Well, and you know what else you can do? I'm going to make you laugh now. You're going to do this when you go home. But on your Apple Watch itself, it has the camera setting, right?
Oh, yeah, I know.
And you can view yourself from your watch, let alone press play. Yeah. So, I would like to try, and I shouldn't say this, but I would like not to try OnlyFans. I know what you're going to come at. What I'd like to do is actually set up my ring light in the shower with my watch in waterproof mode as well. And just make some content. I think it'd be hilarious.
You're lucky that this isn't a video podcast because people would be seeing me shaking my head going, what the fuck have I done creating a podcast with this malaka?
Oh, come on. It'd be a lot of fun.
Look, we're not going to do a full round of bloke spits, but I wanted to just quickly bring up a couple of different messages that were sent through. So our mate James, from the last pod, he wrote back and said, "Thanks very much for the advice. I'm going to start hardening up a bit, and just being myself and allowing myself to, have that that moment."
Yeah,
and I found this really great meme that says, "To anyone out there who's hurting, it's not a sign of weakness to ask for help.
Yeah.
It's a sign of strength."
Yeah.
That was said by Barack Obama, right? So that really sat strong with me and the reason why we do this pod. It's all about reaching out for help. It's not a bad thing to reach out for help.
Yeah.
So, there was another one that really sits hard with me because this Sunday here in Australia, for all those listening around the world, because I'm not sure if it's celebrated around the world at the same time.
Yeah.
But this Sunday is Father's Day. And I saw a stat today that it said 44 men, and this was posted today, 44 men won't make it to Father's Day next weekend. Please check in.
Wow.
44 men.
Wow. That's very sad.
Now, I'm not sure if that's an Australian stat, but it's not far. We have mentioned how many men do commit suicide by, within a week here in Australia. So, it's, it's sad. I know a lot of people take Father's Day pretty seriously. To me, every day is Father's Day.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of guys out there who either can't be a father or are going through really rough patches with,
maybe even their own fathers.
Yeah, their fathers and all that.
Yeah.
But here's something. It was posted on a page that I follow, right? And I thought, this might be a good topic to talk about. But it's not so much for us to discuss because we're not the professionals when it comes to counselling and all that. We're here just to support everyone, listen to everyone, and see what we can do. But this guy wrote, "Black dog has got me bagged." Now you know what black dog is.
No.
Oh, black dog is another way of saying like really bad depression.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yep.
You've heard of the Black Dog Institute, which is
Yes.
a mental health service.
Yeah.
Black dog has got me bad. I'm not okay. The toxic exes with their ridiculous behavior. My life is a mess and I need out. I don't know what to do or where to go or who to turn to. She's destroyed my mental health. I'm lost and just ready to leave this earth most days. So, like we've discussed this in earlier episodes about, domestic violence.
Yeah.
No one ever talks about when it's reversed, when it's the females being toxic to the males.
Yeah.
No one ever brings that up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I've recently heard another from a very close friend of mine about a situation where his ex-partner is doing anything and everything to not only destroy him, but not let him see his kids.
Yeah.
And he's got multiple children and they are crying to see their father. But because of the ex, they're not allowed to.
Yeah.
How would you feel in that situation if you couldn't, not putting all indifferences aside with your partner, but not being able to see your children?
You Yeah.
I know it's a very touchy topic, especially in the week that we're coming up to. But I don't know. I just thought a lot of people are reaching out these days and, it's harsh. It's harsh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really difficult.
I agree. I think it'll be, this week is, it should be a very, very happy week. Sunday should be a very beautiful day. But I think there is a small portion or population that was, maybe even dreading the day. So, it is a hard topic, isn't it, to talk about sometimes? But
Hey, and look, there's a lot of single mothers out there that are celebrating Father's Day this week because, they're doing the tough thing and all that. And kudos to them. Like, I think, they're powerful and wonderful people. Just like a lot of single dads would be playing the mother role as well. Very wonderful, powerful people.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, there's a lot of guys that can't have kids and would love to experience a Father's Day. Everyone is different.
Yeah.
Everyone is different. Every situation is different. But you know what? Regardless, we're all here to support each other, and that's what we should do. We're living in a world where we need to support each other.
Yeah.
Not be assholes to each other. So happy Father's Day to everyone this coming Sunday. Our episode will be released on Wednesday this week, so before Father's Day. But happy Father's Day to everyone.
Yeah.
Petros, I think we're going to leave it there because I'm just still blown away with Alex's talk.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out,
when you're going to take the apps off the phone. Is that what
I'm doing it.
Are you?
I'm doing it. Maybe we can. Oh, hang on.
Why don't you wait for wedding season to come to an end? Because isn't this the?
No, I'm just doing it for a week.
Oh, okay. All
right.
Yeah.
I have a week. When my mum comes back in October.
Yeah.
So in November, I have a week that I'm gigless at the moment.
Yep.
I will use that week to disconnect myself from social media for 1 week.
I commend you. I commend you. And we will go on a good date night for Disconnect Me as well. Be a good laugh. Palace Nova's awesome, man.
Oh, I love the place.
Yeah.
I've been there many times, but challenges accepted.
Yep.
I'll do it.
All right.
I'll do it.
All right.
But yes, when we do go to Palace Nova, I'll make sure we bring the microphones and we're going to do live chats with blokes.
We'll do Q&A. Let's do a Q&A. As people walking into the cinema, it doesn't matter, or walking out of it,
So instead of street chat, we'll call it blokes chat.
Blokes chat.
Yeah. Blokes chat. All right, let's leave it there because we can continue talking crap. I hope everyone enjoyed that. We'll be back again next week, hopefully with another guest and more fun stuff to talk about.
Done. See you guys.
Ciao.